Peppa's on Twitter.
You can tweet her at PJC Hudson.
A few more of your thoughts on wedding gifts and wedding registries and the change in attitude towards couples asking for cash as gifts. Bren saying, my eldest granddaughter got married last November. They'd already bought their own house and had everything, so we all gave money. And Bren obviously is quite comfortable with that. I do like Brenda's contributions. He says these days one has to be practical. My bridesmaid Carol from over 53 years ago recently had her 79th birthday, and this year we gave her a bean warmer for her aching neck, 2 squeezy tennis balls for her arthritis, some relaxing tea bags, and a packet of homemade Romany creams. I like that sound of that gift, Brenda. Wouldn't mind one of those care packs myself. Another person saying, I went to a wedding of a family member in April, and the couple and some friends flew in from Grand Cayman. Others flew in from many different distant places, and a week of voluntary excursions was arranged. I believe it's called a buddy moon. 1 month Chile with a Chilean friend, the next month Cape Town, so no presents were requested, and it made sense to me. I'm reminded of that scene in 4 Weddings and a Funeral where Hugh Grant walks into the very fancy shop where Andie MacDowell has her wedding registry and asks the very snooty attendant what he can get for about £50. And she replied, you can get that pygmy statue over there if you can find somebody else to chip in the other £10,500. I've never forgotten that scene. We all cringed for him, but actually at the time I thought that's a really good idea. Rather than lots of people giving small gifts, why don't you allow for the possibility of multiple guests chipping in towards one larger present, which is something that you really want and really need? Well, now there is a new online platform that allows you to do exactly that. It is called ChipIn, and I'm delighted to have on the line the CEO of BHG, who owned the platform, Rob Anderson. Rob, thanks very much for joining us. Welcome to the show. Oh, and just like that, we've lost Rob's phone line. We'll try and get him back. In the meantime, let me just tell you an interesting fact. The concept of a gift registry itself has been around since the 1920s already. It was a Chicago department store called Marshall Field's which first came up with the idea, for the very well-heeled, of course, that the bride and groom would go in and pick out their particular pattern of china and the particular pattern of crystal glassware that they wanted and set those aside to make sure that their guests bought the right one. And that is where it began. And of course, as we've been talking about all day, it's changed a lot over the years. Some couples opt not for gifts. Some ask for cash in lieu of gifts. Some ask for contributions towards the honeymoon. Some ask you not to give gifts at all. I'm going to a friend's birthday party on Saturday night, and the invitation states gifts will not be accepted. Your friendship is the gift, which is a lovely thing to do. And I think a lovely other thing to do is to get a nominated charity and ask people rather make a donation in my name if you feel you must give a gift. So there are lots of different ways of doing it. So let's find out again what ChipIn is doing differently. Rob Anderson, good afternoon.
Hi, Peppa. Thanks for having me on your show.
It's a pleasure. So, Rob, I mean, it's a wedding registry on an online platform, which is in itself nothing new. But what is different about the way ChipIn does it?
Yes, I think the biggest thing is it's more crowd gifting, and it's made really simple for everyone else. And the biggest thing with what we find with registry is those random small gifts. And you most probably stayed with the person already, and you got most of the crockery and where you really maybe want a dishwasher, a really big gift.
Yeah.
So the whole idea is that your family, friends can contribute towards that perfect gift that you really want, and it gets delivered to your house.
So rather than 2 fondue sets and a whole lot of mismatched coffee cups, you get the big screen TV or the laptop computer or the dishwasher or whatever the big ticket item was that you really, really did need to save for, sorted out in lieu. I mean, I think it's a really, really practical idea. Rob, how long has the platform been up already?
For about 2 months.
Okay.
So we just launched in March, so it's very new. We've had great traffic already. So I think we've had over about 180,000 users coming to the platform. So, and I think it's about over 2,000 people that have already created lists. So,
okay.
So it's a great start. And I think it's just because it's so convenient and so easy for users, and we've designed it quite mobile friendly as well.
Yep.
So it's really just sending your list to your friends, and they just contribute towards, go to a payment gateway, put in their details, or they can go anonymously, put in the amount they want to contribute, and that's it. It's done.
So you go onto the site, you set up your list, and whether it is the 60,000 Rand Smeg wine cooler or for the baby shower, the 170 Rand dummies from Chico, the items are there on the site. You can click and put that in your basket for your list, and then people wanting to buy a gift for you simply contribute as much as they want to rather than selecting an individual item. Am I correct in understanding that?
Yeah, so it's exactly like that. So the organizer, this could be yourself, this could be your friends and family, or even a colleague that wants to create a list for a surprise birthday or a wedding or a gift in. And then you select what product you want. Then you can share it either to your friends on WhatsApp, Messenger, or if you're old school, you just copy it and can put it on SMS or email. And then your friends will get that list. And then you start contributing. And you can also track when your friends have contributed, and you can actually see the messages that they've written for you, a little personal message.
Okay, so, very, very elegant way of organizing it. Rob, what about the items themselves? Where are you sourcing those? Do you have relationships with major retailers? How does it work?
Yeah, so for us, our brand up group has been going on for about 6.5 years, and we've got quite a lot of brands and suppliers.
Right.
Really in the tech space, baby and toy. One area we focus in is more outdoors and more leisure. So we already had all those suppliers and lists, so they all get pulled from a sort of CSV files, and we update the products and the pricing from these brands and suppliers. But we do want to create a bigger list, and we do want bigger partners. So the next phase, our first phase was really just getting the suppliers that we currently have and putting the products on. But we do have a phase 2 and 3 where we want to really give all retail partners this opportunity to let customers use our payment option as an option within their platforms.
You mentioned your outdoor specialty. I can just say, if you've got a friend who's into camping, get them onto the site, because I never knew until today that such a thing existed as a camping double bunk. But there it is on your site, available to buy. I mean, the tents, the stretchers, the gadgets and gizmos and stuff are all there. I would imagine for somebody who's approaching a 30th birthday and wants some adventure stuff to take into the wild with them, they can have an absolute field day on this platform. So, Rob, you mentioned lots of traffic already. Are you finding that it is mainly birthdays, mainly weddings, or is it a mix of all events that are setting up registries?
It's a bit of a mix of everything, but the biggest one we've actually found is actually baby showers. Okay. So I think it's really because I think people are tired of getting the basic nappies and the clothes. We're really looking for the big things, like your car chair or your strollers, and your cots, and those are normally the quite expensive things. And you'd maybe really want to purchase your own clothes, for your baby. So we find that's quite a big. We've seen that's working quite well in the last sort of 2 months, and we're going to put a little bit more focus in that. And I think it's also just then it becomes, everyone talks about it and just going, listen, guys, why don't we just use a ChipIn? It's so much easier. And also some of these birthday parties, I'm pretty sure you've been in some of them where they create these WhatsApp groups and then become the debt collector, trying to get money from everyone that wants to contribute for these big celebrations. Where now you can track it all, everyone contributes, and there are always sometimes even family dynamics. Your mom goes to a home, and all the siblings need to contribute towards a microwave. Now you just go, hey guys, we're all contributing, and it gets delivered to mom. It really takes that, that pressure off.
I think it's a really smart and practical suggestion. My final question to you, Rob. I mentioned earlier that I think it's a lovely thing to do for a couple who really has everything they need to designate a charity instead of a gift item. Is it something you've thought about adding to the platform, that there should be an option to make a donation to a charity? Or do you think that should be done directly?
We currently do have an option, which is more donations and sponsorships. And a lot of the brands are enjoying that because they can actually see where the product goes. So if there's a shelter or home you want to give to, your friends or family or community can create a list. If they want heaters or a washing machine for a home, they can create the list. Or if your friend's just going through a tough time and their kid needs a Chromebook, your friends can all just create a list and all chip in and really help out. I think a lot of people are going through a bit of a tough time now. So it will be great to see the communities all support each other.
I'm so glad you've added that element to the site. Rob, thanks. Well, good luck to you. I hope it continues to grow and take on board more partners so that the list of available stuff grows exponentially as well. But I think it's a really smart and practical contribution that you've put into this space. Thanks for joining us to chat about it today.
Thanks a lot, Peppa.
Rob Anderson of BHG, and the platform we're talking about is chipin.co.za, chipin.co.za. If you've got a big birthday coming up or a special celebration of some sort and you have been thinking about how to tactfully request that people contribute towards a big ticket item rather than buying lots of smaller gifts, this might be a discreet way of doing it. Lynn telling me on the WhatsApp that the last wedding we went to, the couple had a list, but you could contribute towards buying upmarket appliances at a local supplier. We thought it was a great idea, and the happy couple would be getting exactly what they really wanted.